This program is brought to you by the Vegetarian Society of Hawaii, a nonprofit organization dedicated to sharing with the community the many benefits of a vegetarian diet. Free monthly meetings include vegetarian experts found locally and on the mainland, quick and easy cooking demonstrations, and healthful and delicious food samples. Members enjoy an informative quarterly newsletter, social activities, and discounts at many vegetarian-friendly restaurants and health food stores. For an application, call 944-8344. That's 944-8344. Or visit our website at www.vsh.org. vsh.org.
Good evening, everyone. How's everyone tonight? How's the food so far? Good. I'm Dr. John Westerdahl. I'm the Director of Wellness and Lifestyle Medicine here at Castle Medical Center. We'd like to welcome you to another in our series of Veggie Life Vegetarian Cuisine cooking classes, which we try to offer here at the Wellness Center usually once a month. And the first 25 people that registered got actually a free copy of Veggie Life magazine. I happen to be the nutrition editor for the magazine. It's one of the nation's leading magazines promoting a healthy plant-based diet, all vegetarian recipes. The reason we offer these classes here at Castle Medical Center is because at least 70% of the patients that we see in our hospital here at Castle are here because of their diet and their lifestyle. And that people need to eat healthier. And we promote a healthy vegetarian diet. We believe here at the Wellness Center is the optimal diet for health and disease prevention. And even though you may not be a vegetarian, we encourage you to go as close to a vegetarian diet as you can, because you'll receive a lot of healthful benefits as a result of that. Right now, I'd like to introduce you to our featured speaker. And of course, tonight is Eat a Rainbow Cooking. This is part of the program of the American Cancer Society. Usually, we had Heart Month last month, so I'm still used to that. Mary Arakaki is our Wellness Center nutritionist and registered dietitian, and we're very proud to have Mary here on our staff. And she's a real leader in the field of nutrition and preventive medicine and wellness, a graduate of University of Hawaii. And she'll be presenting the class tonight. And because we are featuring Eat a Rainbow here, colorful fruits and vegetables, one of the very important tests that can be done to measure your antioxidant level in your skin, in your body, is to have the antioxidant scan that's done. We are making that available optionally if you're interested in having that done tonight. David and his crew is here tonight from Pharmanex, where they have this state-of-the-art scanner that can actually get an idea of what your total carotenoids are, where you stand. And if you have a high level of carotenoids, that means you're eating a lot of good fruits and vegetables. But most Americans aren't getting enough in their diet. And as a result, they get low scores. So the more plant food you eat, and you may even want to consider taking additional antioxidants in addition to that, the higher score you'll have, and that's what you want to get. And there's some great information. I encourage all of you to take part in that screening tonight, and we'll have that available after the cooking portion. So now I'd like to turn the time over to Mary. Mary?
Thank you.
Let's give her a hand.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Welcome. And before we get going, and I don't want to forget this, I want to give a special thanks to the volunteers here at Castle that work so hard in helping to put these events together, and especially Harriet. I'm going to embarrass you. She did all of this greenery that is so beautiful, and thank you so much. It really made it nice, very nice. Thank you, Harriet. As John said, our topic tonight is Eat a Rainbow, and the reason that we chose that topic is because it's National Nutrition Month, and we wanted to support the Cancer Society because it's so important that people get optimum nutrition by eating a variety of fruits and vegetables. And why is it so important to eat a rainbow every day? Well, there's very clear reasons why heart attacks and cancer continue to be the number 1 and 2 killers. The standard American diet, or SAD, the acronym is SAD, is sadly designed for disease. Unfortunately, Americans only eat about 7% of their calories from fruits and vegetables. And about half of that is from potatoes, and about half of those potatoes are fried or they're chips. I mean, it's no wonder we're so sick. So it may be convenient to pick up a soda, to pick up a burger, to pick up some fries, to order a pizza, but we're paying the price because Americans are becoming sicker and sicker. So that's why it's so important to get out this message. So we've all heard that saying, you are what you eat, right? Well, if you're a fast food junkie, you might say that you are cheap, fast, and easy. I myself would rather be lean, firm, and full of phytochemicals. How about that? Okay? This is what we want to aim for. All right. And the good news is the earlier that you start making these changes in your diet, eating larger amounts of foods with phytochemicals, the more protection you get. So I say, let's not waste any time. Let's get started right now. So, what are phytochemicals? The terms are very confusing, and I gave you some handouts that have a lot of nice explanations, so don't take notes. You'll have everything to take home. If I were to just say to you, oh yes, these grapes are full of anthocyanin, and you'd say, well, what's that? I'd say, well, it's a flavonoid, which is an antioxidant, which is a phytochemical, which is so confusing. So what I wanted to do before we get started is just to kind of back up a little bit and just to give you a little bit of an outline, because it's quite confusing. And I also want to mention that this is a new area of study. There is so much to be learned, and I'm certainly not an expert. There's hundreds of phytochemicals that have already been discovered and named. The clinical research is still limited. They're looking at, do these phytochemicals work independently or together? Do they work with nutrients? Does the action of one build on another? There's so much to learn. So we're just going to do a little outline. We won't get too much into details. So let's start off. What is a phytochemical? Well, phyto is Greek for plant. So these are plants derived from chemicals. And as I said, scientists are just starting to discover some and name these different phytochemicals. And we know how important it is to eat a wide variety. Well, what are some of the different types of phytochemicals? Well, there's antioxidants. There's plant hormones. For example, genistein is an isoflavone that's called a phytoestrogen, and that's in soy foods. We know that's protective for a healthy heart, stronger bones, and sometimes women can eat soy in replacement of estrogen therapy. So we're just learning about that. There are also sulfur compounds. That's what you find in your cruciferous vegetables, thiocyanates, and we're all familiar with the benefits of dietary fiber. So these are just a few of the different types of phytochemicals. Let's look at antioxidants here, because we're going to be talking about the colors. The types of antioxidants, we have the vitamins C, vitamin E, the carotenoids. Those are pigments. Those have your alpha and beta carotene that give your orange and yellow colors to the fruits and vegetables. Lycopene gives the red color, and lutein gives the green. Flavonoids are also pigments. The anthocyanins give the red, purple, and blue colors, and the anthoxanthins give the white color. So why it's important to get a variety is that each specific carotenoid or flavonoid works on different areas. For example, beta-carotene is healthy for eyes and skin. The lutein is very healthy to prevent macular degeneration. Lycopene is important in prostate health. So if you only eat tomatoes and that's the only vegetable that you eat, well, then you're missing out on some of the benefits of these other things. So that's why it's so important that you get a wide spectrum. So in the antioxidant category, we know there are carotenoids and flavonoids. They give the beautiful colors to these fruits that we see here. And in the vegetable category, the same thing. These are what the antioxidants that are called carotenoids and flavonoids are the pigments. Well, how do we prevent disease? How do the antioxidants help prevent disease? They prevent a chemical reaction that's called oxidation. When oxygen is exposed to heat and light, it becomes an oxygen radical or a free radical. Everybody's pretty familiar with the term free radical. That's an unpaired electron that's looking for a target to react with. So it can alter protein, it can alter fat, it can alter sugar, and it can also alter the DNA in your cells. So in response to these hazards of oxygen, what the plants have done, they've developed this wonderful rainbow of colors. These antioxidants that they've developed, the reds that we associate with strawberries, the deep green we associate with broccoli, the orange from carrots, all of these colored substances in plants are there to protect them from the oxygen in the atmosphere. So what happens if you cut an apple? What happens? It turns brown, right? This is oxidation. Well, the red skin of the apple, or this is, more of a green. Now, if I were to cut this on the other side, that apple under there would be nice and white, wouldn't it? And that's because the red or the green, the pigment, is protecting it from the damaging effects of oxygen. So when you eat the apple, the skin of the apple, you take in that same colored substance. And that helps you internally to protect your DNA. So that's why it's so important. So what do we need to do? We need to eat a rainbow every day. For optimal nutrition, make sure that you eat a representative from each of the colored-coded groups. And you'll be meeting the recommendations of the many government agencies, including the National Cancer Institute. Now the recommendation is not just 5. That 5 is better than none. But now we want 5 to 9 and a variety of colors. So what we're going to do tonight, you're already enjoying some delicious recipes, and these almost all of the colors are represented in each of the recipes. So what I did with your handouts, you have recipes, and I've indicated the colors. I've just kind of put in parentheses the colors that are represented. So you can kind of get an idea when you are picking out recipes, look for colors or just add colors. That's what we did. We just kind of improvised. You don't have to go by the recipe exactly. What is the definition of a recipe anyways? Well, it's a series of step-by-step instructions for preparing ingredients that you forgot to buy and utensils that you don't own to make a dish that your dog won't eat. Not tonight, because we are featuring recipes from our cook here, Rebecca Woodland Holly. She's put out a beautiful cookbook, and most of the recipes are from her book. And what I really like about it is she says, use this, use what you have left over in your refrigerator. She gives really good instructions for doing the recipe your way and helpful things that you need to know. So her books are on display and highly recommended. It's a great cookbook. Oh, I just want to review the handouts before we get rolling. Everybody got a handout, and I've given you an overview of the different colors. There's actually 8 different colors here, and because they have it broken down by the different phytochemicals. But that's a little, and underneath here is a nice printout of all different benefits from the fruits and vegetables. And I'll be mentioning that as we kind of talk about the recipes. But don't think that you have to memorize it. You're like, oh, what did she say? What did she say? Everything is right here. So that's kind of nice. And that's something you can read over later. And you might have specific areas that are a concern, and you can find some fruits and vegetables that are really important to you. Also, I challenge you. I've given you this little Eat a Rainbow Every Day handout. And this is broken down just into 5 colors to make it a little more simplified. And what we do is have a listing here of several fruits and vegetables in those categories. And then on the other side is a little chart where you can actually give it a try. See if you can actually eat 5 servings or 9 servings of fruits and vegetables and get colors that are represented from each group. I challenge you to do this. And once you get in the habit of doing it, you'll look for that. You'll look for color in your food. It makes it more appealing. And
you say 5 to 9 servings. What is a serving? What do you think a serving?
It's a half cup cooked or a cup of fresh, like a leafy greens would be a cup. A cup fresh, half cup cooked.
So
That's.
you could have 5 servings on a meal.
Yeah, you have a great big salad. Sure. Yeah. And don't limit yourself. Have more than 9. There's no limits. Because we wanted to cook the hot dishes in advance, we're not going to prepare them, because we also wanted to leave you time to visit Heidi in the back at the Cancer Society table and to visit David if you want to. So we won't be actually preparing the hot dishes tonight. We'll just talk it through. So, okay, are we ready to begin? Presenting the Castle Wellness Kitchen and Rebecca Woodland Holly, the Castle Wellness Cuisine instructor who she knows her way around the kitchen. She's taught me a lot today, so we're going to get started here. As I just said, we aren't going to be actually cooking the hot dishes because we wanted to have it prepared in advance so that you could be enjoying it while we talk. So we're just going to kind of talk our way through. We're going to start with the ratatouille. So if you have your recipes and want to go through this with us. Ratatouille is a French dish, and I got the pronunciation from my mother-in-law, who's from Marseille. She said they say ratatouille in Marseille, but in Paris they would say ratatouille. So
In Quebec, they'd probably say it differently too.
Yeah, you're from Quebec.
No, I'm from Canada.
Oh, okay. So what we did, we started this dish with the onions. And you can read here, it says it's a wonderful dish from the south of France. I like this dish because it's got all the vegetables in it, and it's got a nice Mediterranean flavor. You can use this dish on top of basmati rice. You can mix it with pasta. You can put it
on a baked potato.
On a baked potato.
It's good just plain too.
And what we did is, the way this recipe is laid out, it's designed to be a quick ratatouille. But when you do it like that, it actually comes out more like an Italian stir fry.
Right.
So we decided to do it more like a ratatouille. So we actually changed this a little bit. We cooked the eggplant first, and we cooked it down. So it was on a couple hours, actually.
Basically, you want to cook it a lot longer than it says in here.
Right.
And kick up the garlic a little bit.
Right.
And add a little more herb.
Yeah. Make it the way you like it. So what we did, we started with the garlic and onion. And onion and garlic have allium compounds, which may reduce the risk of certain forms of cancer. They have a flavonoid in them, which reduce inflammation associated with allergies. They inhibit the growth of head and neck tumors and protect the lungs from harmful effects of pollutants and cigarette smoke. So right off the bat, we've got some healthy antioxidants and
eat lots of onions.
Eat lots of onions and garlic. We firmly believe in garlic. So then the eggplant has anthocyanin. That's what contributes to the purple color. That's a powerful antioxidant, and it may protect against heart disease and stroke. When I say may, that's because the studies are still being done. So this isn't conclusive, but they're finding this. Eggplant is one vegetable that you do need to cook in advance because the skin has a toxin that needs to be, you need to.
It does taste a little bitter if you don't.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to eat it raw, so we use these nice eggplants. They were beautiful.
The oval ones.
Yeah.
You don't have to use these kind. If you want to use the Japanese kind or the striped ones or whatever, that's fine too. Mm-hmm. But these were beautiful.
Okay. And then we use zucchini squash. We use both the yellow and the green. Zucchini is an Italian word meaning sweetest. And what's sweet about zucchini is that it contains lutein, zeaxanthin, carotenoids that help against cataracts, macular degeneration, that can cause blindness. So zucchini squash has, all of the things that we used had a lot of different benefits. Then we used bell peppers, and we used all the different colors. The peppers vary in color depending on their maturity. We were talking about that. So they start as green, and then they go to yellow. Then you see some orange, then red. Then I've even seen purple. Mm-hmm.
Well, also some have to do with the varieties, but they all start off green.
Right. So as they mature, they become sweeter. So Rebecca was saying now that she's gotten used to eating the yellow and the red, and she doesn't even like the green anymore. And that is true. They are much sweeter.
And the brighter ones have much higher vitamin C content.
In fact, 5 strips of the more colorful ones give you 100% of your vitamin C. Just 5 strips. So they are very high in vitamin C. So I think that's about anything else we want to say about the ratatouille.
Yes, there will be a spelling test afterwards for the ingredients and all of the phytochemical names and everything.
Yeah. That's why you got the handout.
Yeah. That's why we're going to leave a little extra time at the end.
Now, speaking of onions, I have a little joke for Rebecca. Rebecca, what do you get if you cross baked beans and onions?
Tell me.
Tear gas. Okay, let's move on to the soup.
Do you have to bake the beans to get that effect?
I don't know. We'll have to get in the kitchen.
But if you cook them my way, it avoids most of the gas.
Okay, give them the hint then.
The hint is in the cookbook. It's a whole page. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, let's move on to the soup. Is everybody enjoying the soup right now? Okay. Is it delicious? That's because Rebecca, she takes the recipe, but then she says, no, it needs a little of this and a little of that. So we added a bit to this recipe, but the great thing about this recipe, you just take whatever's left over in your refrigerator, you put it in there, and you taste it, and it goes, So what did we complement the soup with today?
Well, I added plenty of Italian herbs, oregano particularly, a little cumin, because I had it around. Some Bragg's liquid aminos, some sea salt, and I think the crowning touch was some fresh squeezed lemon juice.
Yeah. Right. That gives a nice tang. So for the vegetables, we use broccoli, which is loaded with phytochemicals. It has the sulforaphanes, indoles, lutein, and beta-carotene. In fact, broccoli is one of the vegetables because it has been getting so many, everybody's recommending broccoli as an anti-cancer vegetable that Americans now eat 8 times the amount of broccoli that they ate 20 years ago. So.
And speaking of broccoli, there are broccoli sprouts in the green salad, and it has recently been discovered, Johns Hopkins University did a bunch of tests, and they discovered that broccoli sprouts have tremendous cancer-fighting properties, way more than the actual broccoli itself. You'd have to eat like a truckload of broccoli to get the benefit of a manageable amount of broccoli sprouts. So
I did look that up. The sulforaphane is what they're really high in.
Sulforaphane, that's great.
Yep, they're really high in sulforaphane. So then we also use cauliflower, which is one of our cruciferous vegetables. It has isothiocyanate, sulforaphane, and what these things do, they're possibly detoxifying carcinogens, and they perhaps reduce the cancer risk. Now, do we have a little... That cauliflower right there, yeah.
There we go.
I was kind of researching this, and I thought this was cute. Mark Twain described cauliflower as cabbage that had gone to college because of the little fissures and stuff here. I thought that was kind of a cute.
A brain.
Cabbage that had gone to college. And then we use carrots in there. We use baby carrots. Now, are there really such thing as baby carrots? No. They actually are grown from a special variety of carrot that just happens to produce a really thin stalk. And then they cut them. So there isn't really such thing as a baby carrot. That's just, I know. You're just
not a particular variety.
Yeah. But carrots, one medium full-size carrot provides 220% of the daily requirement of vitamin A in the form of beta-carotene. And we have already said that's very beneficial for eye and skin health and decreases the risk of certain cancers. Then we also put some potatoes in there. The most popular vegetable in the United States, of course, we had to include that. I found that the average American eats about 126 pounds per year, but our non-fried version will reap the benefits of vitamin C, potassium, and fiber without the fat.
Right. Most of those are eaten at McDonald's, too.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the soup. Oh, one other thing. In the recipe, it says to put half in the blender, but we thought it was coming out so nice that we decided, and it was more colorful to present it not blenderized. However, if you have children, I know that that's my secret trick for getting my son Nick to eat vegetables that I know he wouldn't otherwise eat. I just blenderize everything, and it's one consistency, and then that's great, But the soup, we thought it was beautiful, and we're going for color today, and so we didn't actually blenderize the soup today. But that's the nice thing about these recipes is you can do it your way.
Also with this recipe, we use brown rice. You can use any kind of whole grain that you want. I recommend that instead of a pasta. You can use whatever kind of vegetables you think go in there. I mean, anything. Leftover stuff that you had from the night before, you can use leftover stuff from a salad. You can use anything. And if you have some beans or something like that, you can add that. And if you choose to blenderize it, you can either do it in a blender, but be careful, only fill it halfway and keep the lid on very tight. Or you can use an immersion, a hand blender. It won't end up as creamy, but it's good to get sort of a little bit creamy and a little bit chunky. So you can take this to whatever level you want, and you can doctor it up however you want. It's very versatile. You don't ever need to feel that you have to follow a recipe exactly when it comes to soup. And season it to your taste, not anyone else's.
Right.
Okay.
Next we're going to do the multi-grain zucchini salad.
Okay, this is an easy one.
Yeah.
Because you can use whatever kind of grains you want, but please no white rice. We want brown rice, wild rice. What do we have in here? Pearl barley?
We have pearl barley, wild rice, brown rice. That's it. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. So that's a nice combination, and the wild rice gives some nice color.
You didn't use it. Yeah, you barley, wild rice, and brown rice.
Right.
Great. Okay.
Right.
And you can do it all in a rice cooker. and then just make it ahead so that it's not too hot when you add the veggies.
Is everybody familiar with quinoa? Because that's the other grain that was mentioned. If you're not, it was the Aztec culture. They ate a lot. The Incans. You're
From
right.
Peru, South America.
Ate a lot of quinoa.
What's their main protein source?
Right. And the reason, it's very important that you rinse thoroughly when you're cooking with quinoa, because it's got a bitter taste. Because
the outer coating is bitter, and it's nature's way of protecting it from birds and bugs and things like that. So we have to rinse it very thoroughly before cooking with it, otherwise it's not going to be edible. But once you rinse it, it's great stuff.
So you cook your grains in advance. And remember, grains have phytonutrients in them as well. Do you want to put that together? And
Sure.
Because I'm going to talk about
You're just talking about toss.
In the organic acid category, they have phytic acid, the grains do, which we know may help reduce cancer. It lowers blood sugar, cholesterol, and triglycerides. The grains also have soluble and insoluble fiber, which is a phytochemical. This is protective against colorectal cancer, helps regulate the body's use of sugar, may help lower cholesterol and triglycerides, and prevent constipation, hemorrhoids, and diverticulitis. So
things you needed to know, right?
Things you needed to know about grains.
We don't talk about them, but guaranteed somebody in here has that problem. Go ahead.
Then we put in cucumbers. The dark green skins of the cucumbers contain lutein and zeaxanthin. These are carotenoids that fight against cataracts and macular degeneration.
And wash them carefully because they may also contain wax if you don't buy the organic ones.
Right. And there's also, I didn't know this, but some cucumbers have seeds and some don't. In researching, I found the ones that don't have seeds are the ones grown in greenhouses because they're not pollinated. So that's a little trivia fact for you. What else?
Okay, we have the zucchini. We already learned about zucchini. I put the yellow and the green together because it's pretty, and we're going for visual appeal as well. Okay, then we're putting some nuts in here. Walnuts for taste and omega-3s. We had a little, experiment going here. It was sort of an accident, actually. We ended up with pecans, and you know what? They're really good.
But usually you'd want, the walnuts are a great source of omega-3s, and that's what we'd recommend for the recipe.
Yeah.
But the pecans...
But you're getting your protein and your fiber here, so that's a good thing. Then we add parsley. Now, don't ever use that dried stuff in this recipe. Use the real stuff, okay? And we're not talking Chinese parsley, although that would be an interesting version.
I might give it a nice flavor. If that's something that you really like.
If you really like the cilantro or the Chinese parsley. But this is just the regular curly parsley. The kind that usually is garnished, It's also a source of vitamin E. Okay, now I've got dill. Doesn't that smell good?
Wonderful.
Not dill seed.
Delicious.
But dill weed. Okay? Put that in.
Fresh.
This actually was dried, but it was like real fresh kind of dried. If you know, it's not the kind that smells like ashes or like dirt or whatever. It smells. It's got a very distinct dill flavor, and it's very green, so it's the good stuff. Okay.
Yeah, you do have to be careful when you're buying dill because when it gets old,
it's disgusting.
Yeah.
You don't want to keep your spices and herbs around very long, and it's good to store them in the refrigerator.
It's nice if you go to the health food store and you just buy what you need from the bulk. Yeah.
Now I'm doing the dressing. Dressing's really easy. If you've been to any of my classes, you know how to fork a lemon. But if you haven't, I'm going to teach you.
Don't even think of buying imitation lemon when you're...
Don't.
I bought some, but I thought, well, we have so much to do. Maybe I'll just... Oh, no.
The taste difference is, there's something about the plastic. You put an acid in a plastic container and you expect it to still taste like lemon juice? It doesn't. So we use fresh lemons. It's worth it, okay? And you're getting a lot of vitamin C. You cut it across the equator in half, stab it a little bit to loosen the membranes, twist. You get way more juice. About 25% more juice than you would if you used a reamer or a regular juicer. How many of you think that all lemons are the same shape? They're not. But the reamers are the same shape. So that's why you don't get as much juice out of a reamer. Okay. Okay.
I
now
think we want to move
need
this a little.
about right there. Okay, that's good.
There we go.
Okay, so
Okay.
we've got the fresh lemon juice. Now, you can just do it with the fresh lemon juice if you're really trying to cut way down on the fat grams. It still tastes just fine. But if you use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, not to be confused with any other kind of oil or plain old olive oil, you want the extra virgin, cold pressed, good stuff. It gives it a slightly different flavor, and I think it kicks it up a notch. I like that. And so unless you are really seriously counting every single fat gram or on a heart disease reversal diet, I do recommend that you use a little bit of this.
And the extra virgin is important because you want oil that is not refined. The least that it's subjected to heat, light, and air, the better. So
it's better for you.
Yeah.
It doesn't have any negative things except for it's still fat.
Yeah, because the oil, it goes rancid very fast.
Just a little bit.
So don't buy huge bottles of the oil.
Okay.
How do you keep it from breaking?
Put it in the fridge.
Yeah,
and
you
don't
can put
buy
it
a giant bottle.
Yeah, buy just small amounts.
If you want to buy the giant economy size from Costco, buy that and then put it in a smaller bottle. And you can keep the smaller bottle out on the shelf or whatever. If you're going to use every day, just a little bottle, and keep the rest in the fridge. It will get solid looking because of the kind of fat it is, but then as soon as it hits room temperature, it's quite pourable. Okay. So we've got this and
lemon juice from real lemons. As I was saying to Rebecca earlier, it's funny, lemon juice, if you buy the bottled kind, it has artificial lemon in it, but if you can buy dishwashing detergent with real lemons in it. So what's the thinking?
Go figure.
Go figure. That's what our society, it doesn't make sense.
Now if you are not on a low sodium diet and you want to add a little sea salt, you can. We did add sea salt in cooking the grains. So it all depends on your taste. I'm not going to add any more salt to this. I think it's just about done. When what we served you, we happen to have some shredded cabbage left over, and it has those lovely purple strands in it from the purple cabbage. So we tossed that in, and we didn't save any for this. So that's why this looks just a little different. But it tastes great, and we'll just. Is there any left over in there? Yeah. We could mix it all together. Shall we take it?
So did everybody like this salad? This is a nice salad because you can use it as a main dish. You can take it if you have a potluck or something. This is a great thing to take.
Complete protein too.
Yeah, it's nice when you mix the grains and you can take it for make it on a Sunday and take it for lunch. It's a great salad.
What's the difference between regular salt and sea salt?
Well, what is it? The Morton salt is treated because what is that slogan? When it rains, it pours.
Yeah.
It's treated so that it won't cake. So the regular sea salt doesn't have that treatment.
Also, the regular sea salt tastes better, in my opinion. It doesn't have that kind of edge to it,
Yeah.
It's just more natural. No, it just tastes better. That's my opinion. Okay.
Let's move on.
We have these little guys here to decorate it. You can decorate it if you want. I think we'll just eat these. Right?
Yeah.
I'll move these.
Because I wanted every color represented, so that's a totally optional thing. She said the tomatoes don't complement the dish, but
the other one had purple cabbage in it.
Yeah, it had purple. So. But you can do whatever you want with your salad. Anyways, we're not going to demo the raw salad.
No,
or the raw garden salad but the important thing with that salad is, did you see all the different things that we threw in there? So I'm just asking you to be aware of the colors, and now you're learning about all the benefits. So when you're putting together your salads, please don't restrict yourself to just some leafy greens. However, greens are good. Let's talk a little bit about the things that were in the salad. The romaine lettuce has lutein, which we've already talked about the benefits of that. Leaf lettuce has flavonoids. The red, when you get the red leaf lettuce, that has flavonoids, and that's they're thought to reduce inflammation associated with allergies, inhibit the growth of head and neck tumors, and I think I already mentioned this with another, and then protect the lungs from harmful effects of pollutants and cigarette smoke. The cabbage, now this is interesting, I never knew this. The Egyptians used to worship cabbage heads as gods. Can you see that? Well, I guess they must have known how healthy they really are. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, well, I guess they saw. But green cabbage has sulforaphanes, the same as in the broccoli sprouts, isothiocyanates, and indoles. So they have cancer-fighting enzymes also. Cabbage, very healthy. Now the red cabbage has a little bit different, so it's interesting how something that, even the ones that are similar in the same family, just the difference in color, they have anthocyanins, and that they're thought to be helpful to decrease your risk of heart disease and stroke by inhibiting blood clot formation. So just by putting two different colors into your dish, you're getting added benefits. So it's very important. I think that pretty much covers the garden salad. Did everybody like the salad?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
And the dressing in the salad. Let's talk about that for a minute.
That was something new that we had both tried.
That's basically fat-free dressing, and does it taste fat-free? Mm-hmm. Does it? Come on, you all know what fat-free dressings taste like, don't you? They taste like sugar, and they have that sharp edge to it, and there's something not quite right?
Right. Too much vinegar.
So this is great. It's a tofu base. The Silken Light tofu, tomato juice or V8 juice, and what else?
Italian seasoning.
Italian seasoning, like the mixture of marjoram and thyme and stuff, and garlic.
Anything else? They have the recipe right here.
Yeah.
Lemon juice.
Lemon juice. Mm-hmm. Put it in the blender, and that's it.
Yeah. All you do is
if
throw it in the blender.
If you want it a little more tomatoey, you put a little more tomato juice in. If you want a little more creamy, you put a little more tofu. If you think you need to add a little salt, you can add a little sea salt if you want to. But believe me, if you use the regular tomato juice or regular V8, you got plenty of sodium.
Yeah. We use low sodium V8. So think of all the carotenoids that you're getting just in your dressing, in addition to what you're, in your salad. So it's
great. A lot of people make the mistake of eating a really healthy salad and then ruining it with ranch dressing or something like that.
Yeah.
Ruining it. Yeah. Just adding so much fat and gook to your arteries that...
When Dr. Furman was here, what did he say? Just you might as well just drink the dressing.
Yeah.
In fact, that recipe is from Dr. Furman's book, Eat to Live, the dressing recipe. So,
very good.
Very good. He had some other interesting things in there, different vinegars and things, but you have to order them. So, okay. Next we're going to move on to our dessert, which was the Indian fruit salad with spiced tofu dressing. Has everybody tried it? It's really good. And Rebecca is going to she's going to show you a real festive way to make this if you were doing this at home and with a smaller group. But first, today she showed me the best way to peel a kiwi.
Okay.
She showed me all the little helpful tips.
I need the spoon that's the right size.
Oh.
Can you find that for me?
The spoon.
We put it away. You need a spoon that's like a tablespoon size. And you cut it across the equator. You know how hard it is to peel a kiwi? Anybody tried peeling kiwis? You end up with half the fruit stuck to the peel. And it's hard to eat the peel of the kiwi because it's kind of furry. Like really furry. Okay, that's perfect.
We got it.
We got it. Okay. So you cut it across like this. Yeah, it takes two. Okay. Now, could you get me a small bowl out of one of the white bowls or something?
Small bowl.
So you take this and you just put it right between the skin and the flesh. So you just kind of scoop it like this, as if you're scooping it out.
And you don't waste any of the kiwi. This is a great technique.
Or the juice. You know, kiwis are extremely high in vitamin C. It's one of the best fruits, one of the best things in the plant world for vitamin C. I'm kind of allergic to kiwis. My lips swell up really bad. So when I used to eat kiwis like apples or something, I ate them a lot, and I think that was not a real good thing. And my body just said...
And she doesn't need to do that collagen.
Oh, yeah, right. That's what it looked like. It was really kind of scary. Okay, so that's how you do it.
Can you eat the skin, though?
Some people do. Some people do eat the skin.
But then I don't understand that because I don't think it. I love the juicy innards, you know. And I think the skin, it sort of doesn't really complement that. But that's just my opinion.
Did you know there's also called Chinese gooseberries?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. I know what they look like too.
Well, they contain a variety of phytochemicals. Beta-carotene, you wouldn't think that, but they contain beta-carotene, lutein, anthocyanins, and one of the acids, elagic. I'm not sure how to pronounce that.
What?
Elagic acid, thank you. And these are thought to reduce risk of heart disease, certain types of cancer, cataracts, and macular degeneration. So
that's great.
These little guys pack up.
This is great. Okay, I'm just going to cut these up a little bit. There are more efficient ways of cutting these, but that's okay. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're just going to layer these fruits in this lovely plastic stemware. There are a lot of different ways you could present this. You could just, why don't you start, and I'm going to wash my hands.
Okay. Well, we need to make the dip, the sauce first.
No problem. That'll take 2 seconds.
Okay.
As I'm doing that,
I'll start with the bananas.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're just going to layer these in here. There's 2 different ways we can do this. We can either layer all the fruit and pour the dressing on top, or we can put a little dressing between. We'll do it on top.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to first put in the bananas, the most popular fruit in the whole United States.
And I'm going to first put in the silken, soft tofu in the blender.
Should we do next? Strawberries, do you think?
Doesn't matter.
Okay,
Whatever. As long as you don't put 2 reds together.
Did you know that the strawberries are the only the only fruit where the seeds grow on the outside?
I would put this in because the strawberries will be a lovely topping along with the blueberries.
Okay.
Okay, the dressing, tofu, pineapple juice, maple syrup. It's really good. Okay. Use the real thing. Don't think you can use that pancake syrup stuff. Use the real thing. Vanilla extract. Use the real thing, not vanillin, not imitation. It really makes all the difference in the world. You won't believe it until you do it. Okay? And the stuff you buy in the giant bottles at Costco, even though it says it's pure vanilla extract, it isn't if you read the ingredients. Now, the thing to kick it up a notch is fresh ginger. Okay? That's what gives this an interesting kind of exotic twist. It's a good idea to peel the ginger first. Because we're putting this in the blender, we don't need to grate it or anything like that. We just put it in chunks. And then cinnamon. Oh, smell that.
Delicious.
Exotic. Okay. That's all we need to do. You can use any kind of blender except not a hand blender like this. You know, not an immersion blender. Just whatever kind of blender you have. Okay, so now it's all creamy. And, oh, this is great. One thing, when you're making this recipe for yourself, you don't really need as much dressing as it says unless you want to drink it like soup, which is not a bad idea actually, but you could actually cut the amount in half or double the amount of fruit if you're making it for a big group. Oh, that's lovely. Shall we just pour some on top? Yes, we're pouring that
on top of our fruits, and what we had today was watermelon, which is 88% water. However, it's also packed with nutrients, vitamins A, C, and lycopene, same as tomatoes. It's got that red pigment.
I don't know if we're going to be able to do this without having a little bit of a
Isn't that pretty? So like she said, you could do it like a parfait or like this. This is nice because you see more of the colors of the fruits.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Do we have any mint to decorate it with?
I had that, and I don't know what happened to it, but to put a nice mint sprig on there would just top it off just perfect. Isn't that beautiful? Now tell them about your 4th of July.
Oh, you can make this into a 4th of July thing by focusing on the red, white, and blue, and star fruit. Cut the star fruit into stars, and with the blueberries and the strawberries and this, you've got a red, white, and blue with the stars, and it looks like a 4th of July surprise. It's a great, great dessert. Or salad.
Is it true that diabetics can eat maple syrup and not affect their system?
I think in
Moderation.
In moderation.
Yeah.
You don't want to pour it over your pancakes. But like a teaspoon in a dressing or something should be fine. Right.
Yeah. Moderation, definitely. Okay, so what do we have here? Grapes, the oldest cultivated fruit that's got flavonoids and phenols, keeps your LDL from forming plaque. Speaking of grapes, grapes become raisins. Rebecca,
Yes.
why did the raisin go out with the prune?
I didn't know they dated.
That's it, he couldn't find a date. He gave my punchline. And we have blueberries. Blueberries are wonderful. They have anthocyanins that fight the aging process. When I read that, I went out and bought some immediately.
And you eat them every day.
I should. Well, I will.
Think how young we could be if we
Yeah.
ate them every day.
I challenge all of you to eat blueberries every day. And
then
in
come back in
addition-
10 years and see if you've aged.
Right, right. So that concludes our recipes. I encourage you to try to eat a rainbow every day. And in addition to that, complement it with whole grains, nuts, and seeds. I challenge you to give up your 4 food groups, which are fast, frozen, instant, and chocolate. Okay?
But isn't chocolate vitamin C?
No, we're not going there. We're not going there. But
Oh,
anyway,
okay.
I hope you enjoyed tonight, and we wanted to leave a little time, so we encourage you to go visit David in the front if you're interested in seeing where you are in your antioxidant level. Please visit Heidi in the back. She's got some helpful brochures that you might want to share with your family and answer any questions that you may have.
The Blonde Vegetarian books are outside.
And please give us some feedback if you would be so kind as to fill out your feedback form. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Let's give them a hand. Get some more food if you'd like to. Even take a little home. We want to thank you very much for coming to tonight's program. And as I said, please fill that feedback form out and suggest some other classes you'd like to see. We have other programs coming up. I'm giving one, I think there's a flyer in there about a program I'm giving on cancer and complementary treatments and nutrition. That's next week, I believe. I can't even remember when I have my talk. So thank you very much, and we'll be up here for more questions if you want to talk to Mary on some things on phytochemicals.
This program is brought to you by the Vegetarian Society of Hawaii, a nonprofit organization dedicated to sharing with the community the many benefits of a vegetarian diet. Free monthly meetings include vegetarian experts found locally and on the mainland, quick and easy cooking demonstrations, and healthful and delicious food samples. Members enjoy an informative quarterly newsletter, social activities, and discounts at many vegetarian-friendly restaurants and health food stores. For an application, call 944-8344. That's 944-8344. Or visit our website at www.vsh.org. vsh.org.